What is happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel and another video on Project T5. Last video was obviously all about the engine and the servicing and the problems that we've just found we've got now. I'm not really going to go into that in this one. This video, the footage of the drive shaft change was all going to go in the first video, but it started getting too long. And I just didn't want it to go that long, so I thought we'd break it into two videos. So this is the second part of that. So let's just jump straight into it. Right, that's the oil filter changed, the oil cooler changed, obviously the oil and the coolant dropped, so there's no oil or coolant in the van at the moment. I'm now, while it's in the air, because I need to put it on the floor to get the oil level correct, while it's in the air I'm going to tackle the drive shafts, just so that's one more little job out the way. Idea is going to be bottom ball joint, track rod end, out the hub, undo the hub nut, pull this out of the way, and then we should, in theory, be able to just pull the drive shaft down. So let's give it a go.
Why don't we say that it's too late for us now? Why do we stay when I blame you for the things that weigh me down? 'Cause in the echo of your silence, I only hear what's best for me. Yeah, in the echo of your silence, I'm thinking more of her. She who wants to study your body, who gets the better version of you. I need the better.
Right, bottom ball joint's undone. Well, undo the steering one first, 21mm socket. Bottom ball joint, 21mm socket or spanner, undone. The inner bolts on the lower arm so it can droop down. And now, in theory, if we knock this, so as it just comes back, let's loosen it anyway, so let's whip that off.
Something you say.
There's one drive shaft out. So we've got two 13mm bolts there that bolt onto the block, just there. Let's slide the new one in. There's the new one. Put the new one in. Now, I should you should really change the stub shaft. But I haven't got the long enough bit to get it out for a start off. And second off, it don't look that bad. It isn't that bad. It really isn't very worn compared to this new one. Now this I'll send this with the van when the van goes, if it ever needed to go in the end, get changed in the end. But the only reason we were changing the drive shafts was because the boots were split on the old shafts, and it's easier. So it should really be changed, but it's not the end of the world that it's not being changed, because that isn't the issue of why we're changing the drive shafts, and it will go with the van, so the new owner can use it if they want to. So let's chuck this in. The reverse of what we've just done. same deal this side. Bottom ball joint, track rod end, inner lower arm bolts. Now I have just realised I didn't do the inner bolts up the other side, so I'm going to have to go back, take the wheel off and do them up, but not a big problem. At least I've remembered. So now, hub nut, which is 30mm. Nice and easy. They weren't torqued because I did have them off before and I knew I was going to do this, so I've not torqued them up yet. And then inside, we've got, I believe, splines. Very caked on spline bits. That comes undone with a brake bar, so that I won't put in too much pressure on it, because the oil filter has, and was that tight, use the breaker bar, pulled it, and as I pulled it, I trapped my end of my finger between the end of the breaker bar and the power steering pump reservoir, which, yeah, many painfuls. So, one damaged drive shaft. Bin that one, let's get the new one in. One shiny new drive shaft. So after going through all the footage, editing all this video, I realised that I hadn't actually showed anything close up. So driver's side is pretty simple. I showed you the 2 bolts that hold the bracket into the block. That drive shaft then just pulls straight out. It's just splined onto the shaft, the stub shaft coming out of the box. So you just pull it off, that's that, all back into the 2 bolts up, bolt through the hub, do it up, that's that side done. This side, being the passenger side, you've got, here's my torch, turn the van around so we've got a bit of better lighting. You've got, if I can get this in there without damaging anything, you've got, if you see on there, you've got M12, I think they are, spline sockets. I don't know if you can really see them. 6 around the shaft. You've got 6 around the shaft where it goes into the gearbox. So they're a bit of a pain to get to. I used a breaker bar because they were pretty tight to undo them. And then I did them back up with the torque wrench as well. Undo those, undo the hub nut as we did, undo the bottom ball joint arm, undo the end of the track rod arm, and then that'll come away. Undo the pinch bolts on the strut as well. Because we've hub modded it, the drive shaft wouldn't come out. So I had to drop the hub down slightly to get them out. Now don't do what I did, which is do the other side, and all was okay, fine, undid them. It was still gripped it a bit, I knocked it down a bit, did what I needed to do, hub didn't move. This side, undid the pinch bolts, started hitting the hub to get it to slide down, and because I'd taken the bottom arm out, the hub fell off. Didn't damage any brake parts or anything, I caught it, got it back on, but I had to hold the hub and drag the jack over to jack the arm up to put it in the arm. It was a nightmare. So if you're going to do that, I would suggest undo the pinch bolts for the strut first before you undo the bottom arms, knock it down a bit, do the bolts back up so it's grip the strut, then take everything off the bottom. On this van, hub nut, the bottom ball joint nut and the steering arm are 21mm socket, pinch bolts 18, and I think that drop link is 18 as well, but you shouldn't need to take that off. I'm pretty sure the multi-splines are M12, and the socket for the hub nut is 30mm 12 point socket, so it's not the 6 point, is it? It's 12 point. And that all comes out. It really isn't that big of a job. Like I said, I haven't changed the stub shaft because I couldn't get it out, and it isn't that worn. It is going with the van, so everything needs changing. They've got it. But I think that's about it for this video, guys, to be honest. Not a lot more that really needs to be said. Next video, we'll be going through the issues with the engine. Been a few suggestions of things to try. Unplug the MAF sensor and drive it, so definitely going to try that and see if that is, because it's hopefully quite cheap to sort out. I've been and got a can of oven cleaner to put through the oven, to put through the turbo, to try and clean the variable vanes in the turbo, which we'll do, and hopefully between the two it sorts the issue out. And then yeah, it's probably going to be the egg gasket. I've still not done a sniff test on it yet, but I've got a friend coming over to do that and check that. And then so the other issue I had, which was the light on the dashboard, I've had a lot of people say it's the brake leveling, warning level indicator. I've changed the brakes all the way around when I did the suspension. If you've not seen that video, click here for a link to it, and after this or whatever, go back and watch that one. I've changed these brakes all the way around. Somebody had cut the van side of the brake level, warning level indicator loom off and had joined the wires together. I cut the wires again because the copper had oxidised a bit, so I've cut back, cleaned, soldered them together, thinking that before I did the ABS sensors was the issue. Then we scanned it and it said ABS sensors, and thought, well, I'll try them as well because they're not a lot, 30 quid or whatever they were, to chuck on, and it's not solved the issue. So I think what I'm going to do now is, because there's no wear indicators on the pads anyway, I'm probably just going to go in through VCDS and just code them out, just turn it off. They're not doing anything, so it doesn't need to be on. But that's that one then today, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. I do really, really appreciate it. Channel's gone crazy. I know I say it in every video, but I am so grateful for everyone watching and how the channel has just, in my eyes, exploded. It's been absolutely crazy and getting some really nice comments. I've had a few comments as well on the choice of music that I use in videos, which it's the music I'd listen to, so that's why I'm putting it in. I like it. So yeah, this one's done. Thank you so much for watching. If you've not watched any other videos in the series of this van transformation or restoration, click here for a link to episode 1. And if you like what we're doing on the channel, click here to subscribe. As ever, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, enjoy.